There's no doubt about the fact that banking system is the backbone of any economy. And for the economy to grow, banks have to grow. India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, and it is expected to become the third largest economy after US and China. India is a young nation with immense growth potential. And for India to grow, banks will play a crucial role. So in this video, we are going to analyze 4 biggest private sector banks in India, which include your HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank and Axis Bank. Based on our analysis, we will shortlist the best bank for investment. Hello everyone, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy where I explain everything about money management in layman's language. In this video, we are going to analyze the 4 biggest private sector banks in India based on 17 parameters. So the parameters are as follows. The first parameter would be market cap, followed with interest income, then CAGR growth in interest income in last 4 years, then total income, then CAGR growth in total income in last 4 years. This is followed with interest income as percentage of total income, then net interest margin, then net profit, then CAGR growth in net profit in last 4 years, then net profit margin, then advances, then CAGR growth in advances in last 4 years, then ROE, then CASA ratio, then gross NPA, then net NPA, and finally based on the valuations. Before we proceed further, this is an in-depth analysis and you should only watch this video if you are a long-term investor and willing to learn how to analyze banking stock. In case you are willing to learn everything about money management, including stock market, mutual fund, and every aspect of personal finance, then you can explore my course on everything about money management. You can get the details in the description box. So the first criteria is market cap. It basically tells you the size of the company and it is calculated by multiplying the total share of the company with its latest share price. If you look at the market cap, HDFC has got a market cap of 7.7 lakh crore rupees, ICICI Bank has got a market cap of 3.56 lakh crore rupees, Kotak has got 3.86 lakh crore rupees and Axis Bank has got 1.86 lakh crore rupees. So in terms of market cap, HDFC is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then ICICI Bank, although there is a very slight difference between these two, and then 4th is Axis Bank. Next criteria is interest income. So the core business of any bank is to give loan and get interest. So interest is the biggest source of revenue for the bank. If you look at the interest income, then HDFC interest income as per March 20 is 1.2 lakh crore rupees and it has been growing consistently. If you look at the ICICI Bank interest income, it is 84,336 crore by March 20. Then if you look at the interest income of Kotak Bank, it is 33,474 crore rupees. And Axis Bank has got an interest income of 63,715 crore by March 20. So in terms of ranking, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with ICICI Bank, then Axis Bank, and 4th is Kotak Bank. Next criteria is CAGR growth in interest income in last 4 years. So interest income is good, but you should also know which bank has got the interest income growing at the fastest rate. Now if you look at the CAGR growth in interest income between 16 to 20, HDFC Bank has got 17.9% growth, ICICI has got 9.4%, Kotak Bank has got 13.2% and Axis Bank has got 9%. So in terms of CAGR growth, HDFC Bank is the fastest growing bank in terms of interest income, followed with Kotak Bank, ICICI Bank is 3rd and Axis Bank is 4th. Next criteria is total income. So your interest income is from the core business of the bank, which is to give loan. But there are various other sources of revenue for the bank, which include your brokerage, commission from insurance and income from other subsidiaries, etc. If you look at the total income, which is your interest income plus other income, HDFC Bank has got a total income of 1.47 lakh crore rupees. ICICI Bank has got a total income of 1.49 lakh crore rupees. Total income of Kotak Mahindra is 50,366 crore by March 20 and Axis Bank is 80,000 crore. So in terms of ranking, ICICI Bank is higher than HDFC Bank and this is followed with Axis and finally Kotak Bank. Next criteria is CAGR growth in total income in last 4 years. Again, absolute number of total income is good, but you should know which bank is growing at the fastest rate in terms of total income. Now if you look at the CAGR growth in total income between 16 to 20, HDFC Bank has grown at a rate of 18.6%, ICICI has 10.25%, Kotak Mahindra has grown at a rate of 15.8% and Axis Bank has grown at a rate of 11.7%. So in terms of ranking, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then ICICI Bank, and then Axis Bank. Next criteria is interest income as percentage of total income. As we discussed earlier, interest income is from the core business of the bank, which is to give loan. It means higher the interest income as percentage of total income, better it is. If you look at the interest income as percentage of total income, then HDFC Bank has got 83% income from interest as a percentage of total income, and it has been consistently well above 80%. If you look at the ICICI Bank, only 56.64% income is from the interest and rest is all others. If you look at the interest income of Kotak Bank, 66.46% is from the interest income. And your Axis Bank has got 79.59% of the income from interest. So it means as per interest income, HDFC Bank is the number 1 with highest interest income as percentage of total income, followed with Axis Bank, then Kotak Bank, and finally ICICI Bank. Next criteria is net interest margin. So it is basically the difference between the interest bank generates from its borrower and the interest bank pays to its depositor. For example, let's say bank pays an average interest of 5% to its depositor and bank charges an average interest of 8% from its borrower. In that case, net interest margin would be 3%. If you look at the net interest margin, HDFC has got a net interest margin of 3.79% by March 20 and it has been consistent. If you look at the ICICI Bank, it is 2.91%. And if you look at the Kotak Bank margin, it is 3.96%. And your Axis Bank net interest margin is 2.77%. So in terms of net interest margin, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then ICICI Bank, and then Axis Bank. Next criteria is net profit. It is the total profit that the bank generates after considering all the expenses and bad loans. If you look at the net profit, HDFC net profit is 27,296 crore and it has been growing consistently. ICICI net profit is 11,225 crore and there is no consistency in the profit growth. If you look at the net profit of Kotak Mahindra, it is again growing consistently and the latest net profit is 8,600 crore. And if you look at the net profit of Axis Bank, it is 1,879 crore and again there is no consistency. So your HDFC Bank is number 1 in terms of net profit, followed with ICICI Bank, followed with Kotak, and finally net Axis Bank. Next criteria is CAGR growth in net profit in the last 4 years. Now again, net profit in absolute number is good, but you should also know which bank is growing at the fastest rate in terms of net profit. If you look at the CAGR growth in total profit between 16 to 20, your HDFC Bank has grown at a rate of 20.8%, ICICI has grown at a rate of 0.67%, Kotak Mahindra has grown at a rate of 25.85%, and Axis Bank has been negative growth, which is minus 32.9%. So in terms of ranking, Kotak Mahindra is the fastest growing bank in terms of total profit, followed with HDFC Bank, then ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. Next criteria is net profit margin. If you look at the net profit margin, the net profit margin of HDFC Bank is 22.34% and it has been well above 20% consistently. The net profit margin of ICICI Bank is 13.23% and there is again a dip in March 19. If you look at the net profit margin of Kotak Mahindra, it is 25.71% and it is again very good. And if you look at the net profit margin of Axis Bank, it is very low, which is only 2.35%. And again, there has been a lot of up and down. So in terms of net profit margin, Kotak Mahindra is number 1, followed with HDFC Bank, then ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. Next criteria is advances. It is basically the loan book of the bank. And for the banks to grow, their loan book should also grow. If you look at the advances, that is the loan book, HDFC Bank has got a loan book of 10 lakh crore rupees and it has been growing consistently at a very good rate. The loan book of ICICI Bank is 7.6 lakh crore rupees. Kotak Mahindra loan book is 2.49 lakh crore rupees. Axis Bank loan book is 5.82 lakh crore rupees. So your number 1 bank is HDFC, followed with ICICI, then Axis Bank and Kotak Mahindra. Next criteria is CAGR growth in advances in the last 4 years. It is basically to know which is the fastest growing bank in terms of advances. If you look at the CAGR growth in advances between 16 to 20, you can see that HDFC Bank has grown at a rate of 20.97%, ICICI has grown at a rate of 9.36%, Kotak Mahindra has grown at a rate of 14.62%, Axis Bank has grown at a rate of 14%. So in terms of CAGR growth in advances, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Mahindra, then Axis Bank, and finally ICICI Bank. Next criteria is return on equity. It is basically the return the shareholders get on their investment. So higher the ROE, better it is. If you look at the return on equity, the latest ROE of HDFC Bank is 15.45%, ROE of ICICI Bank is 7.98%, ROE of Kotak Mahindra Bank is 12.89%, and ROE of Axis Bank is 2.14%. Again, there is a lot of volatility. So in terms of ranking, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then ICICI Bank, and then Axis Bank. Next criteria is CASA ratio. It is the ratio of deposit in current account and saving account with total deposit. Now it is beneficial for bank to have high CASA ratio because bank do not need to pay any interest on the current account and very low interest in the saving account. So higher the CASA ratio, better it is for the bank's profitability. If you look at the CASA ratio, the latest CASA ratio of HDFC Bank is 42.18%, ICICI Bank has a CASA ratio of 44.83%, Kotak Mahindra has got a CASA ratio of 56.35%, and your Axis Bank has a CASA ratio of 41%. So in terms of ranking, your Kotak Mahindra is number 1, followed with ICICI Bank, then HDFC Bank, and Axis Bank. Next criteria is gross NPA. It indicates how much money of the bank, that is the loan, is in the danger of not being paid. A high gross NPA indicates that the asset quality of the bank is in bad shape. If you look at the gross NPA, then HDFC Bank has got a gross NPA of 1.26% by March 20. ICICI Bank has a gross NPA of 5.53% by March 20. Kotak Mahindra has got a gross NPA of 2.25% by March 20. And Axis Bank has got a gross NPA of 5%. So in terms of ranking by gross NPA, your HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then Axis Bank, and then ICICI Bank. Next criteria is net NPA. It is the total money of the bank that is declared as bad loan and bank will not be able to recover the money. So lower the net NPA, better it is for the bank. If you look at the net NPA, HDFC net NPA is 0.36% by March 20, ICICI net NPA is 1.41% by March 20, the net NPA of Kotak Mahindra is 0.71 by March 20, and Axis Bank has got a net NPA of 2% by March 20. So in terms of ranking, HDFC has got the lowest NPA and it is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then ICICI, and then Axis Bank. And finally, for the valuations, we will use PB ratio. It is the price to book value ratio and calculated by dividing the share price of the company with the book value per share of the company. So lower the PB ratio, better it is. If you look at the valuations, the current market price of HDFC Bank is around 1370 rupee. It made a 52-week high of 1464 and low of 739, and the PB ratio of the bank is 4.3. ICICI Bank current market price is around 490 rupee. It made a high of 552 and low of 268, and PB ratio is 2.7. Kotak Mahindra has got a current market price of 1920. It is made a high of 1969 and low of 1000 in last 52 week, and the PB ratio is 5.6. If you look at Axis Bank, it is trading at a level of 580 rupee. In 52 week, it made a high of 766 and low of 285, and the ratio is 2.6. Now let us conclude by summarizing the ranking by each parameter. So if we summarize, in terms of market cap, you have got HDFC Bank followed with Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis. In terms of interest income, HDFC Bank is again number 1, followed with ICICI, then Axis Bank, then Kotak Bank. In terms of CAGR growth in interest income, HDFC Bank is number 1, then Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis. In terms of total income, number 1 is ICICI, then HDFC, then Axis, then Kotak. In terms of CAGR growth in total income, HDFC Bank is number 1, then Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis. In terms of interest income as percentage of total income, HDFC Bank, then Axis, then Kotak, then ICICI. In terms of net interest margin, you've got HDFC, then Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis Bank. In terms of net profit, you've got HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, and then Axis Bank. If you look at the CAGR growth in total profit, Kotak is the number 1, followed with HDFC, then ICICI, then Axis. If you look at the net profit margin, Kotak is number 1, then HDFC, then ICICI, then Axis. In terms of advances, HDFC is number 1, followed with ICICI, then Axis, then Kotak. In terms of CAGR growth in advances, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak Bank, then Axis Bank, then ICICI Bank. In terms of ROE, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis. In terms of CASA ratio, Kotak Bank is again number 1 with ICICI, HDFC and followed with Axis. In terms of gross NPA, HDFC Bank is number 1, followed with Kotak, then Axis, then ICICI. In terms of net NPA, HDFC Bank is again number 1, followed with Kotak, then ICICI, then Axis. And in terms of valuations, Axis Bank is the cheapest, followed with ICICI, then HDFC and then Kotak Bank. As per my analysis, I would rate HDFC Bank as number 1 bank based on various parameters like high profitability, high return on equity, low NPA, etc. And in terms of growth, I would rate Kotak Mahindra Bank as the fastest growing bank in terms of profitability, as well as it has got very low NPA. In terms of valuations, HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank are available at expensive valuations as compared to ICICI and Axis Bank, and it is mainly because they are doing much better. So which is your favorite banking stock among all these options? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment box.